Right then, lads and lasses, how we doing, and welcome back to the channel. It actually feels like quite a long time since I made a sort of daily news video, so I do apologise for that, ladies and gentlemen, but there's been genuinely nothing with Newcastle United at the minute. There's been no sort of news or anything that's actually kind of positive around the club to engage over. It's just been kind of stale, maybe for the exception of Anthony Gordon and, of course, Bruno and the other sort of players playing for their respective countries. There's been nothing to speak about. So, look, while Newcastle United's been okay in the Premier League this season. Of course, the Champions League is an exception. That was a wonderful tournament, even though we got knocked out. On the pitch, it's been okay, but off the pitch, especially what I'm going to touch upon today, it's been an absolute car crash for Newcastle United themselves, of course, the people at the top of Newcastle, and of course, the Newcastle United fans. What I wanted to speak about, because it's recently just been flaring up week after week, is touting. Now, if you don't know what touting is, and I don't expect every single person to know what it is, it's mainly brought up on Twitter. If you're not on Twitter, or you're of a sort of younger age bracket, you might not know what Twitter or touting is, because you'll just be oblivious to it. So what touting is when Newcastle United fans go to buy a ticket, but it's on a reselling website where people obviously buy a ticket somehow, somewhere, maybe through a membership, maybe through a mate, maybe through a season ticket, and then sell it on a touting/reselling website. There's ones called like Live Footballing Ticket, for an inflated price, which is completely unfair. It's pricing match-going fans who've been going for absolute years and maybe have give their ticket up under Ashley. They're having to pay more money, and I don't want to sort of get into politics, but under a cost of living crisis, I don't want to get into that sort of stuff, because really at my age, I couldn't care less about politics, and I don't really want to know whatsoever. But it's not just that, it's also that Newcastle United have lied to Newcastle United fans. I wouldn't be chucking that out there if I was wrong, because I don't like creating any sort of controversy. But Newcastle United, at one point, one of their colleagues came out and said that all of these tickets sold on these reselling websites, and trust me, we get into the figures of how much they are, how much are being sold for these Premier League games, because there's many still alive. Now, they have said that these tickets aren't alive, they aren't available, and they don't exist. They're basically just on the website for no reason. Now, I can confirm that is 100% incorrect. Newcastle United and their colleague has genuinely lied there, and I'm going to say that that's genuinely true, and I can say that from my own personal experience as well. Our last home game against Wolves, I spoke to an Irish lad and an Irish man's son. They come up to me because they enjoy my content, and the scene is, Josh, can I get a photo with you? Can my son get a photo with you? Of course, I got one with them. But I said to them, lads, you're not, I don't want to like sound harsh, but you're not particularly local to Newcastle. How did you get a ticket? You know, you can't have a season ticket. It must cost you so much money to go from Ireland to Newcastle every single match day. He went, no, Josh, I got it on Live Football Ticket website. So I was just thinking to myself, right, I'm pretty sure Newcastle came out and said they don't exist. But look, we're going to get into absolutely everything. That's normally a much longer intro, but that is genuinely what that man told me. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Just before we dive straight into this, ladies and gentlemen, like that video if you do enjoy, and of course if you've had any sort of experiences to do with tickets or memberships or whatever it is, drop them down below. And of course, if you are new around here, subscribe for all Newcastle United content. Now, genuinely, not even just with touting, tickets have been a massive problem with Newcastle United this season. If that's from changing from paper tickets or season ticket cards, which obviously were physical stuff, they are now on your phone, and that's just created an absolute car crash yet again. I'm going to use that term many times in this video, but it has just been a complete car crash. I'm now going, I remember when I first got my season ticket in the 2021-22 season, I went to the match. I think I used to get the bus, and it takes around half an hour to get into town from where I live. I used to get the bus an hour before the game and make it in time for kickoff. Now when I'm at Shiraz, I have to get to the stadium 35 minutes before kickoff to actually get in. Normally you could just go 5 minutes before kickoff, bang, I'd be straight up level 7 steps, and I wouldn't miss a second of the game. Honestly, I don't know if it's actually to do with digital tickets or people just don't know how to scan a phone, but it seriously is really annoying. It's not just that though, also with away tickets, there's been sort of dud tickets placed out by Newcastle United. Now if you don't know what that is, a dud ticket is if you put your ticket in and yours is a dud. It means it goes off, it goes red, you're not allowed to actually enter the stadium, and you have to go to a ticket box office for the away stadium. Say it's Man City's, for example. You have to go all around the stadium from Manchester City, pass all of the home fans, and actually prove, you have to have your ID, by the way, like genuinely, the club's making you have ID, and you have to prove that you bought that ticket yourself, you didn't get it off a mate who's getting a loyalty point and making money from that ticket, if you know what I mean, which, in all fairness, it is genuinely good that they are making sure that you are buying the ticket. But imagine if you didn't carry ID on you. Like, you don't have to carry ID on you. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of has caused controversy. For me personally, I've never had to enjoy this season. I've only been on 3 away games, which is Man City, AC Milan and Rangers. So I've not really had that problem personally. I can't say anything too much on that. But what I don't like is Newcastle at one point, someone said that, I think it was something like a bloke went to the Nottingham Forest away game where we won 3-2, thankfully, with that Bruno absolute magician performance. Some bloke went to that game and his ticket went off, so it was a dud ticket, but the stewards actually let him in, and the club contacted that bloke and said, right, you had a dud ticket, but you didn't go into the match. Of course, they didn't get kind of contacted that he did go to the match, and the club asked that man for photographic evidence that he was at the game. That is genuinely so misleading. So every single fan that's now going to the game has to take a selfie to prove that they went there. Look, that genuinely does need to be sorted out. That is absolutely terrible. But yes, like I said, Newcastle United claimed that these tickets don't exist, which it does infuriate me a bit because the regular match-going fans are being priced out. Now, like I said, I don't want to sort of get into the sort of politics side of it and the cost of living crisis, but just to put this into perspective, to go our next home game, West Ham, I've just picked this out of complete randomness. I'm going to take a look at another one, which is absolutely absurd in just a second. But our next home game against West Ham, which is a pretty big game to be fair, that to go to that game, it's going to cost you £299. Look, it's 300 quid, let's just say that. It's going to cost you £300 to sit in the East Stand. The East Stand, look, it's a good view, by the way, but that is genuinely 100% the worst atmosphere inside St James's Park. I don't hear a noise from there. It's honestly absolutely terrible. But what genuinely shocks me, this is genuinely ground shaking, to go to, and I've picked this out because, look, for the rest of the season, our sort of less, what's the word? So when you speak about Man City, you say they've got sort of a high profile or a high caliber of team. Sheffield United are sort of the worst team that's come to Newcastle United that's left for the remainder of the season. Nobody's come to that game as a Newcastle fan to watch Sheffield United, if you know what I mean. They're not coming to watch Sheffield United as you would come if you were a neutral to watch Man City play. So to go to Sheffield United at home, where we are obviously going to win that game, I'd expect us to win that game 4-5-0 the way they've been playing. To go to that game, it's going to cost you £595 per ticket to sit in the East Stand. Yet again, the worst atmosphere stand. Yes, it's a good view, but £595. That's not to buy a share in the East Stand. That's to sit in there for one game against Sheffield United. That is genuinely £595. To put that into perspective, by the way, my season ticket for the last 3 years has cost me £80 for a season. I worked it out somewhere here. That works out £4.20 per game for me. And I know some people are going to get angry at that. Look, if I seen a bargain when I was 12, 13 years old, I took it. You can't blame us, do you know what I mean? That came up there, anyone could have got it, so I took that. I know some people are going to get quite angry at that, but you can't blame a man. If the opportunity is available, I'm going to take that every single day. But genuinely, £595 per ticket for Sheffield United, it's absolutely terrible. Yet again, my season ticket doesn't even cost, off the top of my head, 4 times that. And I'm not just picking out the most expensive ones in these, by the way. To go to that Sheffield United game, it's going to cost you £100. Look, if you want to be a bit of a nerd, £99 to be exact. It is £100. I know someone would sort of try and pick that one out there, but it's going to cost you £99 for a restricted age ticket as well. So you have to be an adult, as you can see on the sort of showing up on the screen there. It says, I think it's a little I button or an exclamation mark. I can't exactly remember the image, but you have to be either an adult or an under 17 to buy a ticket against Sheffield United for 100 quid. Honestly, it genuinely is absolutely terrible. There's members out there who are paying £37 per month. That's not cheap, by the way. If you saved up £37 per month for a couple of years, you could get yourself a nice little holiday. Do you know what I mean? So that could go elsewhere. Or not to mention, if you did get lucky in the membership ballot, you'd also have to buy the ticket as well, on top of paying the £40 per month, which genuinely comes up to a lot of money. But I don't like it whatsoever. Honestly, the club really need to do better. And I'm going to put this tweet up right now, which actually got me a little bit angry. Some bloke said he got unlucky in the ballot. Look, that's fair enough. Quite a fair few people get unlucky in the ballot. That's not sort of unusual whatsoever. But he was sitting on the resell tab, which members do get sort of availability to. If someone can't make the game, they can resell their ticket to the membership tab. And he was on there for hours to see if one was going to pop up. He then goes onto a touting/resell ticketing website, and there's hundreds on there for over hundreds of pounds. Do you know what I mean? It genuinely is very, very bad. It kind of makes a point of, what is the point of buying these memberships? And the club need to come out and make a statement. They need to be 100% transparent, because not only have they lied, but this is costing supporters a lot of money, and it is genuinely very, very unfair. And look, yet again, I'm not coming out here to sort of whine or cry. Some people, or the new generation, would kind of say that about this situation. I've got a season ticket. I'm in safe hands. I can go to any single game I want to. That's a form, of course, in the Champions League. League, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup. I signed up for all of them schemes, so I'm not in any sort of position to say, oh, I can't go to these games. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm genuinely just standing up for what is fair. So I just kind of want Newcastle to come out and make a transparent statement and kind of give these supporters some sort of transparency of how they can get tickets fairly. But that is today's video, ladies and gentlemen. I know I've kind of structured it a little bit different. I have kind of cuts in the video to what I normally do, just a complete straight one. So I do apologise for that. It's the first ever time I've done something like this, which is off the player sort of side of stuff and off the news side of stuff. But I just think it's not really fair on these people who are paying quite a bit of money every single month, and they're just basically missing out on it. So I do feel sorry if you are one of them people, and you haven't been as particularly lucky in the ballot as some other people who've just bought 10 memberships and are going to sell these tickets on websites, and it's costing you particularly a lot of money if you were to even go and buy that ticket, or just to keep paying the membership price every single month, and then if you get lucky, a ticket on top of that. But anyways, look, apart from that, if you did enjoy this video, ladies and gentlemen, and it kind of helped you sort of understand that, please do like and subscribe if you want you, and let me know your thoughts on this situation down below. Without further ado, I've been Josh. Go and enjoy your day, people.